Alastair Clarkson has made a decision on his AFL coaching future. Drew Jones is in Melbourne for us. Drew, he'll be coaching North Melbourne in 2023.
Yeah, if reports are to be believed. So AFL Media's Damien Barrett reported at about 9 a.m. this morning, Melbourne time, that he's chosen North Melbourne. So he played around 90 games at Arden Street during the 90s, Alastair Clarkson. So there is an emotional affinity to North Melbourne. And I suppose when you look at the whole picture and you consider the fact that Essendon have only come in at the absolute 11th hour to bid for his services, it's not a massive surprise that Clarkson has ended up going with North Melbourne. He's been speaking to them for over a month now, and they've had various conversations about what the future with the club would look like. I have reached out to Clarkson's manager, James Henderson, and North Melbourne Football Club this morning. Haven't heard back yet, but it looks like he is signing with North. It'll be probably a long-term contract, 4 or 5 years on fairly large money. You would think the master coach has won 4 premierships in his time at Hawthorn. So he goes to a new club, a new era, at Arden Street here at Essendon. They've missed out on getting Clarkson, and that means that Ben Rutten's future as head coach is in a really interesting position. He does have a year to run on his contract, but some say it is, well, pretty much untenable for him to come back and coach the club next season, given they've gone out and tried to replace him. So fascinating times at Essendon, and a great morning for North Melbourne.
What's happened at Essendon, Drew? Have they cooked this?
Well, that's one way to put it. I don't think they've handled the situation particularly well. Obviously, when a coach like Alastair Clarkson is available and you have a change in president who clearly wanted to change the direction of the football club, Dave Barron has taken over and ambitiously gone after Clarkson at the last minute. I mean, there was always some discussion in the background about, well, every club who isn't sure about their head coach, they should be making this phone call to Alastair Clarkson to see if he'd be interested in coming and coaching their team. And Essendon did that. They just probably left it a little bit too late, and then that leaves the situation with Ben Rutten fairly muddled. Ultimately, I guess nothing ventured, nothing gained, and they gave it a crack. But now they have to consider, does Ben Rutten coach them moving forward? Do they look at another coach who's available, a young one, or maybe an experienced one elsewhere? So it's definitely a new era as well for Essendon, it appears, just a question of whether it's a new coach as well.
Yeah, I wonder how morale will be there today. Drew, thanks so much. We'll check in soon.